I think that so many times we take for granted the things that we have,
Hmm.
and having the opportunity to take that program and show people and remind people of the things that we have is just so important.
Welcome back to Torch Talk, the show where we spotlight bold local leaders growing their businesses and communities with grit and purpose. Today's guest is Samira Zimmerly, president of the Wooster Area Chamber of Commerce and a dedicated champion for the Wooster and Wayne County community. For more than 15 years, Samira has led with passion, service, and vision, earning national recognition, including multiple ACCE 40 Under 40 honors and the Young Professional Athena Award. She's also deeply involved locally, serving on several community boards and mentoring emerging leaders. We are so excited to welcome Samira to the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Okay.
Okay, so Julie and I are excited to talk to you together about the chamber and all of the things that you're doing. So I know you guys know each other a little bit better. Give me a little bit of history of like your career path and how long you've been at the chamber, but how did you end up where you're at now?
So it's actually kind of a funny story. I didn't even know what a chamber of commerce was. So I was working for a marketing company and doing a lot of traveling prior to my chamber time. And a friend of mine knew that I was looking. I had been interviewing in a lot of different places. Just got tired of the constant travel, living out of a suitcase, and knew it was time for me to find something where I could be at home. And so as I was interviewing, a friend had said, send me your resume. I know of a few openings in Worcester. She was living here, and I was living in Medina at the time. And so she had sent my resume into the chamber, and I got a phone call from the president at the time, or asking me to come in for an interview. And I'm like, what the heck is a chamber of commerce? And so I got online and did some research, and not really having any idea what a chamber was, came in for an interview, and got called back for a second interview. And they picked two past board chairs that they said would never agree on anything to do the second interview. And apparently they did agree on one thing, and that was to offer me the position. So I had kind of taken a big leap of faith, leaving a full-time salaried position to come for a part-time job at the time at the chamber.
Oh, wow.
So started out as a part-time project coordinator 15 years ago at the chamber. So that's what brought me to Worcester from Medina, and started out as a project coordinator, and then kind of worked my way up. And then in 2020, September of 2020, not a great time to take over as president, but that's when the transition happened for me to take over in that role.
Okay, awesome. So talk a little bit about that transition within, well, first of all, what did you do? If you were working part-time, did you have to work another job at the same time? That's a big career change. And how did you fill in the gaps?
So when the position was offered to me, originally I didn't realize that it was part-time. Quickly realized that it was part-time. There was another person working at the organization at the time that was going to be transitioning out. Her husband was in the military, and so he was going to be stationed somewhere. They weren't sure yet where. So the understanding was that when I would be starting in June that fall, it would be hopefully would be able to turn into full-time as long as it was a good fit.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, okay, I can do this for a few months.
Yeah.
And so what happened was, after I started and was there for a little while, her husband actually got sent overseas instead. And so she wound up staying for another year. And her and I actually became really, really good friends. And so I wasn't upset that she wasn't leaving, because I loved her. And like I said, we were really good friends. But that meant that
Your full-time position
my
was
full-time
this.
position was not going to happen at that time. And so the president of the organization came to me, and him and I had a really good talk. And so he was like, we're not in a position budget-wise to be able to offer you a full-time position. So okay. So that kind of changed things, and I had to figure out what to do at that time. So he had talked to the executive committee, and one of our executive committee members actually was able to offer me another part-time position at her organization.
Okay.
So I was working two part-time jobs for a little while to be able to make it work, and was able to kind of finagle my way through that for a little while to be able to make it work. And like I said, the person that was there, she became a very good friend. We're still in touch. She did wind up moving away after that additional year, and we still stay in touch. And she's across the country now, and so it all wound up working out. But I think that's one of the really cool things about our community is the way that they come together to support each other and work together. So I think it's kind of a funny, at the time, not convenient thing, but it all wound up working out.
It's always interesting when you look back at your life and you're like, 15 years ago, I made this pivot. I didn't know how it was going to work. Now you can look and be like, yeah, it was all fine. But going through that, you're kind of like, why am I doing this? And what is going to happen? And, like why it's just so interesting all the time. And I think actually really helpful for younger people to hear when they're early on in their careers, like, I'm curious, what did you do when you were in marketing? Since we're in a marketing background, like what kind of role was that?
So it was a company that did a lot of, they do a lot of mobile marketing and different things like that. So we had clients all over the place. So they did a lot with NASCAR, a lot of mobile marketing. So the one client that I worked with the closest with was a tobacco company. And so I would go out and I would help with their national sales meetings and different corporate events that they had. And so I got to set up some really, really cool events. We turned a ballroom into a football field, brought in turf and different things like that, and would set up just some different meetings that they had. The annual sales meeting, I got to go to Arizona, Phoenix for the week, and just put on all of these really cool events. We worked with, they're now Low Cash. They were Low Cash Cowboys back then. The tobacco company actually sponsored the band. So we worked with Maxim Magazine and did the tour with them, following them throughout the U.S. on the tour that they did. So just got to interact with a lot of different things. They sponsored some different NASCAR drivers, and so got to interact with them and help with some of the hospitality suites and different things like that. So just a lot of fun, different events. Got to travel around the U.S. and see some cool places that I probably would not have had the opportunity to see the way that I did. So very thankful for that opportunity. But like I said, the traveling just got to be a little too much.
I was curious to see how much of a pivot it was from the role before, but I can see how actually planning those events plays a role in your, with the chamber, because you guys put on a lot of events.
Yes.
So you have some insight into like, how does a high end, like a big event, how does that translate to small city Wooster chamber?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And the relationship side of that as well. It was very relational, very interactive. And I didn't mention this prior to that. I did my internship at Westfield in the hospitality side of things as well. So again, very relational, very
Customer service.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Nice. So you are the only president of the Worcester Chamber that is a female, correct?
Correct.
So what has that been like? What an accomplishment. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We had said a little bit, we're all about girl power at Fierce. So we got a pink logo. We're 75% women, so we're definitely in support of all of that. But what has that been like for you?
So, I mean, always all about breaking the glass ceilings, right?
Yeah.
So it's been, first of all, just an honor and a privilege. But I think the one thing I will say, some people will say Worcester's got a little bit of a good old boys club. And I think that there was some challenges with that at the very beginning. But I will also say that there were so many people that were super supportive.
Mm-hmm.
So the nice thing for me was at that time, I had already been with the organization for 10 years. So I had been there. I had lived through a lot of things. I had proven myself with the organization, with our board, with our members. I think the one thing that was really, I think as far as, 2020 hit, I'm not sure if I would have gone for the president position if it wouldn't have been for the pandemic. So I knew that the organization was important to the community and to our businesses, but I didn't realize how truly important it was until we went through the pandemic. And during that time, when everything started to shut down, that's when I realized the importance of the chamber to our community. And I think when we started having people call and, they're in tears because they're not sure if their business is going to make it through.
Mhm.
And, they started going through their entire savings account and they didn't know how long their business would be shut down. And we really had to pivot. And, at that time, my role was I was the director of events and programs, and none of our events were happening. We existed on gathering and networking and events and, getting people together. And my role didn't exist, and I knew how much of me personally was, I enjoyed, getting together and networking. I knew that was my professional. I didn't realize how much of myself I depended on that socially and personally. And then hearing, these people call and look to us for all of that guidance, that kind of hit me a little bit differently, right? So when I found out that my predecessor was going to resign during that time, I really found myself doing some soul searching. And I thought to myself, okay, who's going to apply? Who's going to want to take on that kind of position during this time? And, who is going to be able to step up into that role for our members and do it the way that our members deserve?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it kind of hit me. And I knew that I needed to at least throw my name in the hat. I didn't know if they would consider me or not. We'd never had a female. I wasn't sure if, and not just because I was a female, but I just wasn't sure, how that would go. And it doesn't hurt to try.
Yeah.
So I went through the interview process just like everyone else, and it was really a learning experience for me, just about myself. There were some things that I wasn't excited about. I hated public speaking, like despised it. It would make me nauseous. The idea of having to get up at our annual dinner in front of 800 people and speak, oh, yeah, that was not something that I would even consider. But it was the idea of our members needing somebody to be there for them and care the way that they needed to care. So when we would have those businesses call us and say, and there's one member in particular, and I won't mention who it is, but she called. Her business was thriving prior to the pandemic, and she was getting ready to expand. And first of all, she's just the sweetest person that you will ever meet. And when that happened, her business got shut down, and she was in one of the categories that she wasn't able to reopen at all for quite a while. And she had gone through her entire savings account, and she was in tears. And she said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it through this. And that one just really stuck with me. And I remember hanging up from her, and I was in tears for her. And I'm like, what can we do to be helpful? And, we were doing webinars on, working with the banks and on the PPP and all of these things, just trying to get creative. And so that one just really was weighing on my heart. And so I stayed up that night, and I was researching. I was looking for anything possible that we could try to find to help her. And I found a grant opportunity. And I was like, this could be a long shot, but I'm going to send it to her. And so we were kind of connecting. She was able to use that grant opportunity and receive $10,000. That kept her doors open.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
And so, we just got creative, and we tried to find anything possible to help. And so, we tried, we did some Facebook Live shopping opportunities and went into the businesses, and we used our website for some of them and put items on there and went around the stores and did that. We tried to create a website for the restaurants to list their to-go options. We put together a 50-some page application to create the Dora in downtown, and the chamber manages the cups for the restaurants, and got everybody together for that. I mean, we tried anything and everything. We put together the Wooster's hiring publication to help advertise the job opportunities. It was, at that time, it was just anything and everything, and some things worked really well and some things were a complete flop. But you don't know unless you try. And I think that was just as much as it was a struggle for so many, I think that it was also an opportunity for so many people as well to kind of dig deep within themselves and learn. And I personally am thankful for some of what that brought out in a lot of people and what that brought out in myself.
It sounds like it was a catalyst for change. So
Absolutely.
What new things, and I'm sure it brought around programs and support that the chamber is still offering now.
Yes,
and changed the way that you did things. So
definitely.
I definitely, I grew up in Holmes County. Worked in Holmes County as a business. So in the last 5 years of owning Fierce, that's really whenever I've become more aware of the Worcester Chamber and activities and all of the types of things. And it seems like you've gone through a different level of growth, and like it's really exploded since then. So talk to us about, like, what does the chamber do? What types of events? What type of support? Like, what does that look like for your members?
So we are always, I think one of the really cool things about not only our team, but our board is we're always looking at new opportunities. So we are not afraid to try something new. Like I said, if it works, that's great. Sometimes things work really well, sometimes they don't. But some of the cool things that have come out of the pandemic, our Loyal to Local program is something that really supports our small business community. So that's a program that we started. We used to focus a lot on Shop Small Saturday. At that time, we knew one day was not enough. So we started the Loyal to Local Passport program. So that encourages people to spend $250 at local businesses. And when they do that, then they can turn in their passport to the chamber and be eligible to win one of the prize packages. This year, we have 3 of them that are valued. All 3 are at least $1,500 or more in prizes that they win. And that just really rallies around our business community to encourage people to be loyal to local and shop small businesses, which is really great. Through that program, we've been able to show that, I'm trying to think of the number off the top of my head, but it's something pretty incredible number-wise. And then we're going out and we're visiting all of those businesses. We're taking photos. We're posting those online, showing what all of those different businesses have to offer in our community and encouraging people. And the amount of people that will either post on those pictures or call after we post them and say, I didn't even know this business was here. And so just kind of bringing that awareness to these businesses has been really great. We've got a job postings board where businesses can post about the job opportunities that they have to help get the word out. So just, workforce is a challenge for businesses all across the board. We were talking about that earlier. So just trying to help businesses get the word out about their job opportunities. We put on Manufacturing Day, trying to bring awareness and connect education to industry. So, trying to keep that young talent here in our community, make sure they know about the great job opportunities that they have, whether they're looking to go into the workforce straight out of high school or whether they want to go on and get an engineering degree or something like that and be able to come back. Even the office opportunities that are within our manufacturers. We have so many cool employers here in Wayne County making these incredible things that so many of our young people don't even know. Not even just them. Some of their parents have no idea what are happening here. Yeah. So we take them into these employers and then they're going home and telling their parents or their grandparents and, just trying to raise that awareness with that. We started Wayne County Lemonade Day. So teaching our youth about entrepreneurship, and we offer workshops with that. So they get to learn about budgeting and opening up their own business. We teach them about marketing, and that's probably something you guys can help with. But just trying to teach them about that. And that's been going for a couple of years now. And watching some of these kids that started, with the beginning, and then they're coming back each year and the new ideas that they're forming. Some of these kids are making an incredible amount of money at these lemonade stands. And so the idea of that is for them to save some, share some, and spend some. So they're opening up bank accounts, savings accounts at our local banks. They're sharing some with local nonprofits. So we're teaching them about the different nonprofits in our community and learning about what they're doing there. So it's just really trying to build awareness and educate people about all the great things that are happening in our community.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just, I mean, I could go on and on. There's so much, there's so many great things happening, and there's so much for people to learn about what's happening in our community. And we are so fortunate. I mean, I use fortunate and blessed so many times when I'm talking about things, because I think that is one thing about Wayne County that is just so incredible, is there are so many people doing great things and working on projects and initiatives. And I feel truly blessed to be a part of it. And I think that, we all are doing things, and so many times we're just doing them quietly, right? And I think that that's one of the great things about working at the chamber, is having the opportunity to be involved in that and be a part of that and help spread the word about all of the great things that people are doing.
I think you guys do a really good job of connecting everybody together too. So just like the lemonade stands of, then they're spending that money, but then they're opening it at the bank, and just like the different companies that you guys tie together is just really fun to see. And then even like I was just telling Lindsay about the Let It Glow that you guys started during COVID, that like my family, we love it. Like me and my husband used to do it with no kids, just drive around and see the Christmas tree or lights, and now we're super like excited that it's coming back again. And like that, like it's sponsored by the businesses and things like that, but it's just something fun to do within the community as well. So it's just that connection that you guys like bring together, I think is really cool.
Absolutely. And Leadership Wooster, you're in that program right now.
I love it.
I say that's one of our most important pieces to the puzzle, is, having that opportunity to take, leaders in the community and have them go through that program and learn all of the different things that are, learn from the leaders in the community. This week it was Health, Wellness, and Recreation Day. And although we had some fun activities, you could get up and show us the dance that you learned.
Good dance lesson.
But hearing from the CEO of the hospital and some of the doctors and the incredible healthcare opportunities that we have here in our community, having a community hospital, which are far and few between at this point. I think that so many times we take for granted the things that we have, and having the opportunity to take that program and show people and remind people of the things that we have is just so important. So I think, that leadership program is, like I said, one of the most important pieces to our puzzle. And then those people, those graduates of that program, are then going and getting involved, and they're joining boards, and they're running for, council seats, and they're doing all of these different things. And it's all of this just positive momentum happening, which is really exciting.
Cool, yeah. It's always fun to come home with like fun facts of what did I learn about Wooster today. So I enjoy it. Wooster Hospital is the last hospital in the country, or excuse me, in the state that's a municipal hospital.
Oh, really? Fun fact. That's your fun fact of the day. I was trying to imagine you all doing yoga. She was telling me, we did yoga at the end of the day. And I was like, really? And you're like, what were you wearing? This is what I'm like running through my head. I'm like, okay, we just do yoga.
You could tell who read the agenda that you had sent down. Who didn't fully read the agenda, because it was on there. So I was like, okay, I know what to wear now based on that.
Sometimes there's small little tests in there.
Yeah. Noted.
Do you read the details?
Yeah.
Follow instructions.
Make sure you wear comfy shoes. We're going to be dancing and doing yoga.
Yes.
Stretchy pants.
I love how you talk about the community, and you're very consistent with that. I mean, you say it all the time. Everywhere I hear you speak, you say that. I love to travel, but every single time I go somewhere else, I'm always it's cool to see new things, but I'm always so grateful for where we're from because of what you said. Like Wooster is a great small city. It's a good community. The sense of relationship and all of the things that you get to be a part of. Seeing downtown Wooster transform over the last 15 years has been wonderful. We have employees who work from outside areas, and we're like, you need to come, like, experience downtown Wooster and see what it's all about. So it is a blessing. And I don't think it's cliche to say that. It really is a blessing to be a part of the community, to be connected. I know we've really enjoyed being a part of the chamber. I was really impressed with the chamber dinner last year. It was my first time coming. I loved it. I didn't know glitter was allowed, and now I do. So I'll go anywhere we're allowed to wear glitter. I'm so excited to go. So I'm already picking out my outfit for February. Any closing thoughts like you would want to say to somebody who's thinking about joining the chamber? Like, what would you say to somebody who's, they're kind of on the fence?
I think that the great thing about, any chamber, I will speak to any chamber. Every chamber is different. Although we have similar missions, every chamber has something different to offer. So I think it's always important to get involved in a chamber. For whatever reason, there's always something to be a part of. I think for our chamber specifically, we try to have just such a diverse offering. So there's always something to be a part of. I think that what I love about our organization is there's truly just such a wide offering that we have, I think, something for. It doesn't matter what age range, it doesn't matter what type of business, it doesn't matter what you're hoping to get out of it. I truly feel like we have something that we can offer anyone. And I think that we've worked really hard to try to make it as welcoming as possible for anybody to be a part of, whether you're looking for money-saving programs or you're looking for networking opportunities or you're looking for the promotional opportunity side of things. We truly have something that you can be a part of in whatever way you're looking to be a part of things. And we have a really diverse board, and our staff is always willing to help and get you involved in things. So hopefully, if people haven't been involved before, we're here and we're happy to help, and hopefully they'll want to just stop into our office. We're always happy to help. So
I appreciate that. So where can people find out information about you? What's your website, social? Where should
WoosterChamber.com. Call the office 330-262-5735. On our website, we have all of our team's emails, contact information, anything like that. And you can find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We're there.
All of the things. Perfect. Thank you so much for being with us today. It was really nice to catch up and learn a little bit more about what you do.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for tuning in to Torch Talk. If today's story sparks something for you, share it with a colleague, community leader, or a future change maker. Until next time, stay inspired, stay intentional, and keep your fire burning.